Alright, quick video about grip on a handgun. Again, this is my Glock 19. Nothing fancy done to it, just has a sight on it. Basically, all you want to do is get your hand up as high as possible to the back strap right here on the web of your finger right here, as high as you can in the center of your hand, so that it's in the meaty part. Doesn't matter if your fingers don't wrap all the way around like this. That doesn't do anything, because when it recoils like this, the gun is going to hit you in the knuckle every time, and it's going to hurt. Not good. What you want to do is have it so that when the gun recoils, it recoils against your hand, this meaty part of your hand, so you can absorb it. So as you, obviously when you do a two-handed grip, gun's unloaded, so no worries about it pointing at the camera. So when you present the firearm and your arm is slightly bent, however, the energy is going to go down your hand into the wrist bones and through to your elbows. So this hand, your dominant or firing hand, needs to be as high as possible, centered as possible. And on the other side, on this side, what you want to do is take up all this slack right here as much as possible with this hand. So what you want to do is take the palm and put it on the part that are exposed right here, and then wrap your finger around. See how there's no empty spaces? You want the thumb forward to cover as much as the frame as possible. Now, some people say don't put your thumb over on the slide, or some people just say rest it on the frame of the gun. It doesn't matter. Your finger's not going to stop the slide from malfunctioning, from sliding back fast enough. So you can actually have your hand pretty high up, all the way high up on the frame, and actually have your thumb resting right on this little lip. Your thumb is going to be resting on that and pushing in, because you got this hand pushing this way, this hand pushing this way, this hand pushes this way for even force distribution. Now, on this hand, you would want the grip to go back and forth like this. Not side to side, but more like a clamp, like forward to backward. And this hand is more like a wrap around. And as Travis Haley said in his videos, it's like setting the pin on a nutcracker or a shell cracker for shellfish. You know how there's that pin in the middle and it hinges off of that? Well, it's kind of like that. So you set the pin underneath the trigger guard with your support hand, and from there, as you build your grip, you hinge back. All right, you hinge back. And from there, you have your grip. And it's not going anywhere. And the way to really make sure that your grip is complete is you take a look at the back. If you take a look at the back, there, you shouldn't see anything back here. There's no gap. So another thing that I've heard very experienced competition shooters, like champion shooters and stuff, is that, you know, you got your Weaver push-pull method. So you can have this hand pulling back while your main firing hand pushes forward. So at the bones, at your metatarsal bones right back here, you have a push-pull push-pull effect, and that'll help stabilize it. Now, the grip amount is going to come down to what your grip strength is like. Most people that are experienced, much more experienced than I, will say most of your gripping comes from your support hand. And this also ties in with your wrist too. So when the gun fires, you gotta make sure your wrist is locked so that the gun doesn't flip on you like this. And a good way to do that is to actually grip more with your pinky. And that way that locks your wrist out. And with this hand, you grip just enough to where it's not going to impede on your dexterity on your trigger finger, because the harder you grip, the less flexibility you have on your trigger finger, in which case you're not going to be able to fire the trigger or, you know, do this very quickly. Like, the more tense you are, the less quickly you can manipulate this finger. So again, it's empty. So what you want to do is, when you build your grip, you set the pin high up on the tang with your gripping hand. High up on the tang, there's no gap. There's no gap. You see it in Hollywood, a lot of actors do this. They grip it like this. And that is going to cause the gun to do this when they fire in real life. Anyway, so you build your grip, set the pin, roll it out, and as you roll it out, you clamp down. Do it from this side. As set the pin, as you roll it out, you clamp down. As you set the pin, you roll it out, you build the grip, and you pin, grip, set the clamp. And that's the very, very basic of a handgun grip lesson. Stay tuned for more.